Building a great company is a marathon, not a sprint. Each week, Krista Inkeman and the team at Tank New Media take on growth challenges, explore technology, and interview business leaders that are always upping their game. If you're ready to build scalable systems to drive your business forward, this podcast is for you.
All right, welcome everyone. Glad to have you guys today. Today we've got Lenny Stahl with us. He is the CEO of Dakota Storage Buildings. Welcome, Lenny.
Thank you.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about Dakota Storage.
Dakota Storage Buildings. What we do is we manufacture backyard portable storage buildings. We go market it directly to the public, the consumer. And the reason, there's two needs we supply in the marketplace. Mm-hmm. Safekeeping people's possessions and to help organize their life. If we take all the requests and all the reason people call us, the reason people walk into our door, the reason people submit a quote request online or order online, is it boils down to two things. Their life is in chaos with stuff. They have a stuffinitis problems.
Stuffinitis, I like that.
Second is they need to safekeep some possessions. We see a lot of classic cars go in our products, restore tractors, motorcycles. I remember many years ago, there was this fellow here locally. I think he actually won. It was a part of a lottery group. They won the lottery. And one of the things that he did is he bought a 14 by 26. And I believe I still remember the guy's name. And I drove around that neighborhood one time and I saw him there and I pulled in and it was unbelievable what that fellow did in this building. He had the floor, a checkered floor. He had a wet bar in there.
No way.
And then he had this high-end car. I don't know what it was. It reminded me something like a Dodge Demon.
Yeah.
Or some, I can't remember, and I'm not much into vehicles, but I'm telling you, I have never seen such an immaculate car. So the need for this guy was to safekeep a possession.
Sure.
And when I sit back and think about all the people that they come, it's for two things: to reclaim their garage, reclaim a room in their house, or to organize their life. Or safekeep of their possession. That is why we do what we do. What we do is the result of the product is storage buildings or garages, even chicken coops,
sure,
dog kennels, so on and so forth.
So what's kind of some of the big differences between you and some of the other storage building providers around?
I would say that's a good question. It's a fair question. When the why is understood, the what and the how work at themselves out different. A lot of times you see companies make the mistake, they work backwards. Mm-hmm. They focus on the what, they focus on the process, but then the why is never understood. And when people understand their why, they're not just building a shed. They're providing a garage for this guy who just bought this high-end sports racing car. They are building a shed for somebody who just wants to reclaim a bedroom in their house, which they use for a storage because there's a baby on the way. Mm-hmm. When the why is understood, the what and the how, the process, it turns out different. That is one of the distinctions we make. The other thing that we do is we try to push high-end product. I'm a consumer. You're a consumer. Mm-hmm. There is nothing more aggravating to me personally is when I buy a product and it fails in a short amount of time. So for an example, the shingles that we put on our product, Northgate, it's a product line that Certainty came out with 4 or 5 years ago. It's a 4 bundle to a square. I don't want to bore you with all those details, but it's an SBS modified rubber. And it's a class 4 hail rating. And in order to get a class 4 hail rating, they take about a 3-inch stainless steel ball, put it 17 feet in the air and drop it. And if that shingle cracks, it does not pass for a class 4 hail rating. The other thing that it does, it's the higher end you go, the warranty claims on shingles blowing off in the dead of winter, just our issues went away when it came to our shingles.
Sure.
That's one prime example. The other prime example is we push our Forever Frame door, which is a completely composite frame. One of the biggest gripes that you will find and see is pre-hung doors are a sucker. They rot up 6 inches from the ground. We actually have a warranty issue right now. Back when we did not push that high end of a product, it was more about let's get the lowest cost item in there at the lowest possible price out the door. That is consumed about the what.
Sure.
Not the why. So when the why is understood, you start thinking different about the products you put into your building.
Definitely.
So that is one of the things I feel like we try to differentiate. We don't want problems. We don't want you to have problems. We want you to be able to buy our product, and the only time we hear from you is, job well done, thank you.
Sure.
That is what we love, and that's what we strive for. Fundamentally, if you have issues, then we have issues. So it's our goal to sell you a product
that you're going to love.
You're going to love, and like I keep telling my guys yesterday, that we will never take humanity out of humanity. We still make mistakes. We still learn. It's a continuous improvement.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But it's challenging to kind of balance out kind of the quality with kind of the margin in the business as well.
And that is a good case in point. What we have found is the higher end we have gone, we've actually made a whole lot less money because of the product line that we bring in. It's customers don't perceive the value in it because you have so much competition where there's a reason there's less money.
Sure.
And there is always this push to the race to the bottom.
Yeah.
And you are right. From a margin standpoint, we have made less money now than we did in years past using more entry-level materials.
Yeah.
But that's true. And in the meantime, it has also helped us to identify who our potential customer is. We are not for everyone.
Sure.
Our goal still is to help people, help as many people safe keep their possession and to still organize their life. That is why we also came out with the utility line, which is your more lower end product line. Does not come with the warranty that the other standard line does. But it will, if its price is all you're worried about, by all means, here is a product.
Gotcha.
I mean, and there are people, that's all they need, that's all they want. It satisfies their life and it fulfills our purpose.
Sure. Sure. So you kind of have sort of like two different buyers. One that's really kind of worried about quality, really wanting to make sure it's something that's going to be around for a really long time. And they really want kind of that high end feel. Yes. And then maybe the other type of buyer who is really trying to just accomplish a goal and they're a little bit more focused on price.
Correct. Yes, that's right. That's pretty much what it boils down to. Yes.
Gotcha. So kind of tell me just a little bit about how you got into Dakota Storage Buildings. Have you always been in construction? Is this just something you feel really passionate about?
Actually not. I actually grew up on a Hutterite colony. My first job I had at the age of 14 was working in a commercial feed manufacturing facility. And I had an interesting boss who drove a work ethic into me, who had the mentality of hurry up and wait. And you were on a break for 3 minutes. It's like, hey, isn't the 15 minutes up yet? Let's go, let's move. So I did that for 4 years. And then for another year and a half, I got transferred from that the place I grew up in had many different entities. One of the entities was manufacturing commercial feed for horses and all the livestock out there. The second entity they actually made geothermal heating and cooling systems. Oh. And from there, I started did that for a year and a half, was kind of a line feeder. I was at the beginning of the line, pre-assembled a part, put components in, pushed it down, did some welding and soldering. And if you would understand the unique structure of what Hutterite colonies are made of, there were some fundamental differences that arose in philosophical beliefs of some, which you couldn't walk side by side. And what ended up happening, I had a cousin who lived up here in this area who had also moved from the same place I moved from. And he was working for Ben at the time as the second employee. And we moved up into the area. 2 days later, it's like, I need guys. I don't need them now. And there were 4 of us. It was me, it was my dad, James, Travis, and myself. And he just took a leap of faith. He felt like he should do that, took a leap of faith, hired us.
Wow.
And it was the first time ever I found an individual who believed in me. I remember I was on the job 2 days. He had me scrape the yard, starting at the bottom. I started out, I think it was $6 an hour. And started at the very bottom. I took a tractor, didn't really know how to drive much of a tractor, and took out a side of a building.
Whoops.
Just totally wrecked it. I was like, my knees was
What a way to
shaking,
start.
my hands were trembling. I walked in. It's like my former job. It was like, you got such a tail end chewing that you don't know how to sit anymore. So I walked in. I was fearful. 2 days into a job, oh, bummer, I'm a loser.
Oh, my gosh.
He walked in. I walked in, and he smiled. Good opportunity to learn how to fix the product now. That's all I ever heard.
Wow.
But he actually didn't fix it. He had somebody else fix it. He didn't show me how to fix it. So that very instant, somebody had believed in me. 2 days later, he actually hired me as his bookkeeper and then part-time working in the factory. And 2 days later, didn't know me from Adam's house cat. I mean, come on, took me up, put me access to all this banking. Here, run this ship. I'm not good at books. I wasn't either. So everything I know, I self-taught. So the unbelievable amount of trust and belief he had in me, it was like, I'm in. This is going to work. And it was the first job I ever had that the ownership believed in me, trusted me. It was rough around the edges, crude. It was an unbelievable hard challenge. I remember one time, it was a year and a half into it, we were out of money. The winters are hard. We didn't have a line of credit.
Sure.
And I remember we were done. We didn't know where to go. And just that day, the banker called and offered us a line of credit. He went totally out on a limb. He believed in us. And I told him, you know what? If you need to lay us off, that's fine. I'm not going anywhere. I'll work for free.
Oh,
Don't worry about it. We're going to make this thing work. And it's been ever since. One thing led to another. I couldn't handle. But what that did in me, those earlier years, I'm still running.
Yeah.
We're still starting out. We are still broke. We are still don't have any orders. And that is still driving me like crazy. I remember one time I was listening to a podcast by Dave Ramsey. And one guy called in and said, when is enough enough? I'm worth X amount of millions of dollars and so on and so forth. But then Dave said, I have a friend who literally grew up on a dirt floor. And he's still running from that dirt floor.
Yeah.
And he's worth millions and millions and millions of dollars more than me. And there's an aspect of me, I'm still running from those early days.
Yeah.
It's still driving me. Has my drive been filtered and channeled in a different way to where I live for the greater good of other people, set other people up for success? Yes.
Yeah.
And in that drive from years ago, I ran over a lot of people. Patrick Lencioni says you need to have people hungry, and smart. Hungry, humble, and smart. The only thing I had was hungry, and there were dead bodies all around me.
Yeah. On our next episode, we'll learn more about Lenny's leadership style and how it's changed over the years, and how that's shifted in his overall business. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe.